Orang do fo mantre do kula sign is apply ro kenole fenna ka fumiye working families tax credit me yalon ko ni sarto timmandi se sutoro kenole membita kayen na fo dola wuli kilin keme fulola aha kan nyimbe damuta la february kro te folole la 2023 sankono ando ni sarto timmandi ebe sutoro kenale nyim fengola nyimmanke juloti andu masakunda te intala fanam pour que mantora saka wato min nayti solata pour ka kayto nyini ila information o be kala fentile mi yalon ko abe tankala le andum fana be kisira dalilo me yinnati woren pour ka mol sembentu yandi mol min bulo me ko ben ndugo be wasintin satele kono ni lafta kibaru ko yo seto lañu poto ise fero ke kumandiro ke wawatla 5
Assalamualaikum baden gambienol ka kafale nyamen dono bi dum fele fitinale mbata man tamone banko dingol be kacha sotola nanata pasi la fala karola ya kuje nyaadile fo nyanta ka dimale bilem nanata nyim pasi la fala karola fo nyanta man sakunda bilem fo nyanta driver le bilem la mba dunna sate ko ni mole kacha soto albulan noma
alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Can you tell us your name and where are you from?
Yeah, okay. My name is Usainu M. Job. I'm from Talinding.
Usainu M. Job, how do you see the increasement of the fare?
Thank you very much for that question. The increase of the fare, I think, is recently something that is that some Gambians aware, and then some Gambians didn't aware yet. But I believe by now, maybe at this point in time, I have seen when you enter the vehicle, definitely at times the passengers normally get confused of the fare, how increase and what is increased. And secondly too, you will discover that at times this increasement is likely some drivers, they appreciate it. But some are there probably, I cannot say that they didn't appreciate it, but there is a problem, there is a constraint against, because what happened is the fare is increased with, I think, $2 if you cross-check it in most of the areas. And these $2, most of the problem that we observe is the change. They're giving out the change to the passengers that are entering. So I have entered a vehicle not so long, but definitely I have discovered that when the apprentice started asking fare, there are some people who gave him normally $20. But because he does not want to give, he don't have change, it will find him difficult to find change for $2. Then he decided to take the $10, which I believe is not something that the driver just intend, or the apprentice just intend or willingly to do that thing, like if you cross-check. So really that thing is a constraint to the drivers. At the same time to the passengers, some of them are there, if you cross-check, they have not yet, because they are not familiar with the increasement. That's why at times too, some of them cannot prepare themselves when they are entering into the vehicle. Definitely.
So who do you think should be blamed when it comes to the increasement of the fare?
Really, in anything that you see in nation building or in any department you see in a country, there are people that are responsible, and there are people that are entrusted or handle the affairs of that issue, transaction so far, day-to-day work and so forth. Then really, if I'm to blame anyway, today, because there was a time the drivers have been talking a lot. They have been saying a lot for this increasement, because there was a time, if you cross-check, if you could remember, you know what I'm saying. I could remember we did probably, but the drivers even happened to get strike because of this increasement. And when the thing happened, I think they were called. When they are called also to involve the government and also the Gambia Transport Union bosses and so forth, they meet, and after when they meet, then they have come up with a dialogue. That in that dialogue, that's why they were able to also move ahead with the transaction. But today, with the question that you asked me, whom to blame? If I'm to blame in regard of this circumstance, definitely I would blame the government and then this thing, the government and then this thing out of it, Gambia Transport Union, because they are the one they should think of also to maybe no, though we understand that price of fuel is increased, but they should also have to understand at this point in time the price of commodity in these countries is increasing higher. And then definitely we understand that definitely drivers driving, they are also citizens like whoever. But passengers are also citizens. And then if you cross-check at this point in time, it's found some people very difficult to make sure for their home consumption and then taking care of their kids' educations and other issues. Then by increasing the fare just like that, it's mean one can see in my own side, I can see through that this is just they just want to benefit the drivers, and it is not just supposed to be like that. We as Gambian, we should cross-check properly to make sure we have mutual understanding. Yeah, really in relation to certain issues.
What do you think should be the solution to this?
Yeah, the solution to this, in regard of this increasement, either to bring it down, to return it, restore it, or to dialogue with the passengers, people with citizenry. Oh, that's what you're asking. Yeah, like what I've seen is they need to have, I think government need to also intervene together to come back again, call the Gambia Transport Union bosses, invite also some stakeholders outside who are neither in the union, not even in the government, just to come on board, or let them try to get opinions also too from what the passengers, what the public concern is really about this increasement and so forth. Because we all understand, drivers driving, they are from homes. And then at times, some of them do pay fare from one place to another. But if you cross-check as Gambian, and if you want to build this country, there must be a fundamental way or issues that we have to put in place and concrete. But you see, to find a possible solution with this will not be easy, I know. Because I know drivers is something that drivers has been yearning for. And then ever since they have been talking about increasement of fare. Now it's come on board. But we definitely understand that because of these $2 it will going to be a problem. It's a problem. The only possible solution is maybe government to try to come up with recommendations in the side of the transportation sector. And to understand that drivers, some of them are illiterates. Most of them, I can say 50% of them are illiterates. For them, if you look, why I'm saying this thing here, there's a reason. Let me come on board to just clarify that, because this I'm on air. Drivers, 50% of them are illiterates. What's happened is, if you cross-check, before this increasement, and I will tell you, take note of it, let government take note of it. Still, where does increasement happen? If you cross-check, why I said government need to come on board to make sure that, let them cross-check about the transport system properly in the country, is that even they raise the fare to $15, drivers will still decide to play also to corruption in the side of the way. Because of what happened is there is no regulations. Like let's see, at times, imagine when you get to Chestertown or Serekunda in the evening, some drivers will come from Tabokoto. When they come from Tabokoto, for you to get a vehicle straight direct to Serekunda is a problem. Then some of them will tell you that I'm stopping at Latrikunda. Is Latrikunda a garage or a stopping point? That is unfair. And then government are saying that, and they know it. Despite that they are entering to their vehicle when they close from it. They are seeing it, they are responsible into that. In this solution, in fact, for the transportation in general, government has to come on board. Not because I'm saying it because I am against the government or I'm against the government only, because I am I'm a leader in the other side of it. But when a reality comes, let's say it. And you see that at times it's find very difficult for some people. When they close work by 4 o'clock, they will reach at 7. And then they are here, they are citizens. And look at the length and breadth of the Komatuba Banco here, which is when we talk of KMC and West Coast region. It should not take you 1 hour when you close from work, when things is regulated normal, to leave, reach home, think of another thing, or to rest for another day. But you discover it's a problem. At times, go to Serekunda on what I'm saying. Some drivers, when they know that the passengers now, they are many into any junction, here even in Westfield, you see, they will do whatsoever that they like. Some are there, particularly the taxi men. There are certain times they don't want to run for even $10. Why? They only stock of town trip. Can all of us pay town trip? And this is a country. We have to see ourselves as one. We unite for the betterment of this country. But without the unification, and when we talk of, we cannot unite. When you understand, when I play my part in my own department or in my own institution, you didn't play your part in your own institution. And we said we are one Gambia, one people and one nation. That thing is not the real fact. Government should have to understand that there are people here in this country whom you understand that definitely today, if you talk not only fair, but if you cross-check, it's difficult with them because it's in our day-to-day life transaction, we have to wake up to move from one place to another. We have to pay fare. And then that's not only the responsibility, but if the fare and the transportation is regulated, I believe it might be easier for other circumstances or other issues for the way forward. That's what I've seen.
What advice do you have to say to the government and Gambia Transport Union and the drivers?
Yeah, like in the side of the government, I'm very much happy with that question. In the side of the government, because how much you've given, much is expected from you. And then the life of the Gambian people is more important than whoever. It's more important than even the number one office of this country. The life of the Gambian people that I mean. If someone is listening to know, to properly get adhere, to be properly adhere with manner, then you know what I'm saying. Because if you are talking Gambia as a name or giving Gambia as a map, it's because of the people. When people are not here, we could have just call it as a land, just land, empty land. Not so, right? But we say Gambia, Sunuriu, or our country. Then government of the day, the advice I'm giving it to them is, I know when in order to build a nation, I definitely understand that the president alone cannot do it. Why presidents always entitled under his powers bestowed to appoint ministers, and to identify ministry and appoint minister to head that ministry, and that in all those ministries they also have line of operational from top to bottom. You understand? Why is that? The president cannot do everything. The president cannot know everything. At times, it's because of when I'm appointed as someone, then I've seen as a director or principal education, or when I'm appointed as a permanent secretary or deputy perm secretary, what happens is I would not always desire to think of, you understand, orders that are behind in my area of responsibility to cover up why I'm here. But instead, I will be also maybe live like freely in my office at home and then forget about. Even some of them are, when they close from work, going home, they don't want even some people to identify that this is Minister X, Minister Y. And then it's because of the people that you are representing. So government, I am advising the government. When you talk of government, definitely I understand. You are there, I'm there, and others are there. But let us take off the charge to make sure to control the transportation or to regulate the transportation side for the people, for the benefit of our nation, should not be a difficulties. Because I believe that there are people responsible. We have Minister of Works, Transportation, and infrastructure or something like that. Those people, what is their responsibility? Before the president itself, in fact, or just leaving things in the hands of the Gambia Transport Union boss, you understand? Let them come and then make sure that, to think about, let them study, survey, to know about what is on the ground, like what you people are doing. Let them go on the ground. At times, let them volunteer. In fact, walk from one place to another to check at times these places that I'm saying, Westfield, Serekunda, or even Tabokoto or Birkama, to see some passengers how they are struggling on vehicle and how it's difficult. And it's not fair. Because at the end of the day, you understand, so you are appointed as a minister or a director under a ministry. You understand? People who appoint you there are the ones suffering. So for that matter, this is what at times contributing into our political affiliation or differences when it comes to also political means. So because it's not fair at times, some people in a country, some people see to it that these people are enjoying and these are not enjoying in the same level. Let's just look at what the international body has just indicated to Gambians. Like if you cross-check in the Gambia here, it's one of the 10 countries that are normally part of begging. That's believing, I say, begging, something like that. And then as the third country in the sub-region. So why should that happen? And in the Gambia, if you cross-check here today, Those difficulties should have not been, if at all those who are under authorities and who are also entrusted with positions are doing their work effectively. But they are not. At times, one will be in the office. What happens is you will discover that, yeah, I am in the office now. So, but the honesty and the loyalty that's supposed to you're supposed to be with in that office, you will not gonna do it because of what maybe political affiliation. I am not in the same party with the president, or I'm not in the. And when it comes to development, we should forget about politics. But this is a problem also if you cross-check so far. These are all things that is drawing a board for the development in this country not to be able to move ahead. And we need to make a change. And advising the government to let them make sure that we try by all means to make sure, let them try to make sure, put mechanism into this. Because I believe after last election, there was new ministry that was put in place. That is for public service. I don't know whatsoever. But not only you people are here, but I won't tell you that not only the transportation that has problem there. There are so many areas that have problem. But I thank God that you come for the transportation because it's citizen. I would agree with you. But I'm advising the government to make sure, let them try to come up with better, proper mechanism for the possible solution towards, to guide people who are always in the day-to-day transaction, boarding vehicle from one place to another. And then for the drivers, I am directing this information to this guy, how to call it, their boss. I don't know, the president of the transport union. Because despite all the fact that we have some of them that are not, most of the drivers who are not educated, a law is just a law. It has to cover all and sundry. Like what drivers are doing at times, even if this stable, like if passengers understand that it's $12 fare now for one place to another, let the drivers also have sympathy. Let them be sympathizers to the passengers and know that it's their sisters, brothers, mothers, and also disabilities that are on the street also boarding vehicle from one place to another. And if at all I would not break any vehicle. I have my own vehicle from work. When anywhere I want to go, I enter. But Allah does not do it how our hands are. That's how we are different in human beings. So we have to accept it in that way. But it will be unfair too when we discover that when drivers understand that definitely many passengers are here, then you decided to say that at times they decided to do one thing. If you are going to Banjul, they see that there are many passengers there. Some people will say 25, some people will say 50, some would say even 75 or 100. Why that? Is there any regulation in that? So this is a problem. You are from Banjul for a certain time, whereas the fares from Banjul to Westfield is supposed to be $25. Then they said 150. Why are they doing that? If you go to other countries, you do some of these reckless things and so forth, they would have a way to control, because we are in a world of what? How to call it? Technology. Governments should try to get mechanisms to put all these how to call it, illegal issues that drivers or some people are practicing in this country, so that at the end of the week we need a rapid development for this country. Other than that, we're just going to play with ourselves as Gambian, but we will not move to anywhere. We have to make sure that we change up attitudes. We have to make sure that we get love to our country, to be patriotic, so that as Gambians, to understand that any position that I am, somebody was there yesterday, and I'm waiting for someone also to come on board. If we believe in this, we will not have any jealous of mind. We will never relent on our national development. So the advice that I have may have certainly for the passengers, like me, number one, and others. Let us try to also, we have understanding, mutual understanding and cooperation of whatever things is put in place in a form of, let's say, an agreement or law. Just to understand that definitely let us not be just too much harsh with also drivers too when we are entering into their vehicle and so forth. I am seeing, because this new increasement happened, but I have seen that passengers and drivers are also fighting. That last time it's happened just the day before yesterday. I don't know, around Tallinn or whatsoever, that when I was coming, I saw a driver and a passenger just because of this increasement. You will give me my fare, you will not give me. It's increased, I don't know. Just because of that, then they got to fight. People will come in between them. So these are also another problem. I'm advising also to my fellow passengers to make sure that we try to have mutual understanding and then respect to one another. Because drivers too, they are our brothers, if you cross-check. Anybody whom you see, maybe have a friend or a family member or somebody who is in the driving sector, you understand, and you are related. But if you want to move with one Gambia that we mentioned, we must have to get mutual understanding in all. This is what I have to say.
What is your final message to the Gambians?
To the Gambians and large. Really, my final message to the Gambians and large is, I would like to let all Gambians to participate in the socio-economic sector of this country, and to make sure we try by all means, wherever we are and whoever I am, whoever you are, let's try we change attitude to governing the system of our governance, and that would enhance development of rapid development in this country. We always at times try to have sympathy and mutual understanding with moral ethics, understand, anywhere that we are, so that at the end of the day, our country, which belongs to all of us, not the president alone, neither me, nor any other person, but it's for all. We all have the same, the cakes, so national cake supposed to be shared equally. And then if this thing does not be in place, to share the national cake will be a problem. Let us try to make sure any sector, any area that you are, you respect it, you deliver up to expectation, you do things, you understand, without just let people to say, let people see me, or let people to just see you, that when the country develop, and then there will be peace. And then when there is peace, definitely that's where we can all enjoy this country.
My name is Kadida Tuhuma. I am from Serakunda.
Serakunda, how do you say the increasement of the fare?
Okay, the government, I believe the government. Because if they increase the fuel, the drivers used to go and buy their fuel. And without fuel, the car will not run. So they have to reduce the fuel so that this time, when going to school, sometimes, some of them are from poor background. So they don't used to have they just used to have small lunch. So if they increase the transport, so when they are going, so it will be difficult for them. So I am begging the government so that they could reduce the fuel, so that we the students that are going to school, it will be easy for us.
Serakunda. Serakunda, nak nga gisee affaire yokka pass bi?
Pass bi ni ko yokkee ni métti na torop because soo ko seetee every day maa ngi dem toll table léegi soo seetee pass bi léegi soo ko seetee damaa ñëw dafa nekk $50 te time boobu noonu pass bi àggutoon $50 te apparemment da ngaa gis koo jox $15 mu ne la awma coins nga jéem a wax mu laa bullshit because of ñu ne la coins kase so man ku ma blame ma ne ko government laa blame because gars suñu wàññee fuel bi ma may fekk ay driver yu bëri ñu ngi wax ne comme fuel bi suñ ko wàññee ñoom dinañ wàññi pass bi because ñoom pare wuñu moom pour wàññi pass soo ko seetee léegi taxi yëpp li fi la gars yi dox tant trip la gars yi dox so ñoom bandi moom la ñu affect léegi ñoom comme by this time man blame ma driver yi de government laa blame soo seetee ñoom suñ ko wàññee pass bi mu delluwaat fu mu jógee léegi ñun soo ko seetee nga war a dem toon table nga runga ba tibagal ak naaj bi nu mu tàngee ni exercice la si ñoom amee am te ne pour ñoom exercice la de fi amee am te ne leen di affect da ngaa gis am te ne faa dem rek tëdd ne yalas daanu du amati sa lu muy def study sax duñ koy defati soo ma moom government laa bile
ko ka fale nyamen doro nana tan pasi la fala karola valentin fintani mulbe kacha so la nga fondin ke do so jambani nen kala ay fane nyim pasi la fa kuje nyaadi le to di madu
to mo
Ibrahima Dramé ye nyim pasi la fa kuje nyaadi
nde nyim pas la fa ko so ente disappoint bake because nte bile mo e kunu ne mo mbota basse diawu nata jang kabli nata jang dunta jita taboko dunta moto toje wula role mo so iko Westfield bari mol dunta moto ñu ngono don iko passo mo $12 ma kabli mo fata la trikunda do moto ñu stop taje yo akabe tebe dan na janne so kabli mo fata taje ko la trikunda ngam moto dole ta ko tenke kana Westfield ko tenke so ente jakali bake Gambia nyanta solution ni na nyin ko la bake yo Gambia la jang ko be nyamen because ni melbe amanki ka fo be nyong criticize la bar melbe government kono to le nyanta mol ma koy la yo bar ni diamu te sa fo ite be man sakunda criticize le be ko president o te nyimbe ko president o le ay minister le to membe mo be do ko la part fengo mento yo saying minister of transport, Minister of Work and Transport ole nyanta mol maga ning Gambia Transport Union ye mol mako yin kola yo Gambia ni famata mena don kol ka seri la ka seri ning transport ko e mol jakal bake nim paso la fata bukaji sa nim paso la fa fa man ke kuti de ba ni paso la fa motol nyanta tala dame nyanta mol ma ko lola ba ite paso la fa ite se moto kuntung so ika jakale mo bebe toraring studentol be toraring diningol be toraring kebal be toraring so o mol jakale because melbe Mansakunda kono ol buka nyin kuolo be tol be la private motor le kono e buka paso jo e buka femfenjo tol ordinary people tol le be bataka so Mansakunda nyanta mol ma ko la ba ye solution nyin kuola because diamo nyin ka siale bari tol le nyanta solution nyin kuola tel buka momo blame de mol be Mansakunda le blame la ye mol ma ko president e funda la ministre commandé ani ministre Gambia Transport Union ye mol ma ko ye driver commandé driver ni mendiate e kawleke mendiata me kawleke Gambia la ko molet ni mil la fata bukaji ni paso la fata bukaji yo hanning essence jita e tol paso ni bukaji so kaboyan kata base paso be la fa autumo dola diabu fa kata base autumo mu $75 le basa ya samba $120 so ya bele la fa ni famata menna bi sama isa la fa na la fata ko tenke tol me nyanta kala kote tol buka tama o rules and regulation la yo ni te bota jang size Westfield kata Brikama ite ni nyanta frala 1 hour bari bi 3 hours ke sloka Gambia nyanta solution ni na nyin ko la nyin solution ni abe ni na nyari le nyanta solution ni na nyin ko la bake ite se ji do ko la 4 o'clock bari ni te be futale la suoko no ite be futala around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock sama somanda ko ite nyanta sorlale yeta so mol nyanta solution ni na nyun ko wala bake
sa ite ya mere juma la nyanta ka blame nana ta nyim passe la fala karo
me nyanta ka blame ni government le blame la ye funti ye diamu molla ye rules and regulation men ko liata ya funti bari jang ni ye rules and regulation ni ye rules men fodron 1 day 2 days drong ibe nyini nala ibuka actionota bari nyanta fundlali actionota ni actionota obe tolbe ma ko lale yo bari ni man actionota drong aben tolbe batande mansa kunde buka dey ibe fundlali ye la loñing fengen because ni mo ke drong molbe tamala le mendiata me ite be fenkela le mendiata defananka ke le mendiata nte yo bari ni nata nali fenko nyin atolung nali ala ni loi ni funtindi o bentol be ma ko lale mais ye ni paso la fa bari moto nyanta tala dame ye moto sambaje bari latri kunda manki stop dulat bana do dalale moto londi latri kunda men dia te to ko atul buka actionota masa kuna nyanta actionota la nyin ko la ni ma actionota do gaba banko ni ntol bebe batalale yo because me ba sikeno melbe santo buka bata do be la private moto bari melbe ordinary people ol ka batale jan ite sitano loptano kono bari ite se moto nyin kuntu ite man paso soto studentol bi janne ika bata ite se bo kabrin welingara ite sa fo ite betala karang kanifing ni paso nyin kuntu so obe te batan dale bake so mansa kunda nyanta mol ma ko lale ye funti ye actionota tol be tol le blame la because tele be mansa kunda ni man traje mol te blame la bari tol be tol le blame la ye funti ye actionota ye diam driver ye ni e paso la fa o manke problème de bari kana moto nyin kuntu kana paso nyin kuntu ye solution nyini ani ni highway fana ye solution nyini molye ni e solution nyini olbe mutol be batandi olbe tol be makoy bari ni man action ta drom abentol be le batandi la so o ente fana jakali bake Gambia la ko la ha
sa ite ya mere mene be kala solution to nyim problème o ni passe la fa karol mi yalon ko na la fata bu katen
solution nyin ye Ministry of Work and Transport and Gambia Transport Union and drivers ye kumandi ye fenke atudun ye loi keje ye agree ta ni tolbe kambenta ye agree ko la ak nyanta kala nyame ni tolbe agrita men fendi mansa kunde la fenko foye yo ning sanso da la fatam itol fanan ba jubila le paso nyanta la fala nyame na la fala bari be driver ibe police le lon de la latrikunda Johnson olto ni moto wulita je ko ibe stop la je ibe te sambala kite diamo fonti je o kana ke kafo police be mutala do ye jumani la yabula no ibe mari sambala le luato ye samba kite yo ni e loi nyinti nyam paso la fa manke fenti ndela paso la manke fenti bari kana moto nyin kuntu e kana mol batandi ka moto kuntu o mambete o ka mol bele batandi yo bani tol be sita mo ku clinta ke no la Mansakunda da manta ke no la fenke driver da manta ke bare driver ni Mansakunda ni Gambia Transport Union ye be kumandi ye kambeng billahi ni kambeng dan ndol bebe sewla la jam Gambia man wara bari kuoku ni tol dunta kono mbuka nyong understand ka kelen ka nyon nen social media ka kuoku beke ni banku demande less than 2 million people tol kota nyong understand la mune moti o Gambia la kuo ente balafa ni te diamu tay safo ite be Mansakunda criticize kala ni te diamu tay ate ya bebe terra derinem mange deyotu bari memu tonya dal ngofo kombola kuo be nyamenten hanni fan su moto be bulu be ikapata janne ifan su moto hanna be bulu kabasaka mun ni moto mentalite bulu so o mu jakari baleti de Mansakunda ye funti ye loi membe bambanda ni o loi ki na bambanda ni mo driver ye o loi tinya ibe sambala kito kono ni ye ke driver clean fula saba bila ite paso nyin kuntuna ita kuntuna wallahi bari ni mo ke don abe tolbe batandi la yam
mine mi la kuma kala bangot yemi sura Gambia no le final message
ntela kuma kala bango be kela menti Gambia al nga nyong understand al nga nyong famu nyimbanko man waran tol bele tamu nyinti ibe Mansakunda kono ba imantara Mansakunda kono ba imu opposition te mangi opposition te be mu baklim faklin tijam membe banko sambala mbe ngataw al ngana dialo diamo nyi ngol ka fon na dale kono banko nyi banku doko ba mu ne banku doko de ngana fenke nga nyol neng nga nyol nendiro bulam minister president o ya tolle tombo ali mul mako al kana taje mendi ata tolle atol ko le kat bukalla doko ke yete bula praso mento ite o doko ke don nyimbanko la bala bagasul fangu jube bagasul be kaseri ni te famata menna 200 sama ni te tabitigo nyin kay sa fo 400 last time te nga fe te tata marché do last month nata nga tata marché do nga fendo le sanja 1200 kunun tata je nga nyin kay ko 1800 so palaso kala fa na la fata bukaji anu na business ol fana te be Mansakunda dani la menna Gambia la dingol ye ona tinga train tol Gambia la dingol tol fonge na business ol keba luntangol membe marali na bagasola nga abondi la buloko billahi ni mo bondi Gambia tol be tar la kumbula le fo alkiam Gambia la problème mo lati luntangol le martan na baga na kuoku la jam mo nyanta o solution janni tol be nyon ne na UDP ko lem de NPP ko GDC ko mo den dro bula ba na fenkol be luntangol bulu nga bondi bulu ñi driver jama ni abe luntang ñi business jama be luntang son tol be solution ñi nanya dem ta Senegal ni tata Ghana ni tata Ghana ni manke banko la dingoti hani bitiko iteta yelo no la bitiko ka fa itela bitiko le mun iba yele la banko fango ba yele tebe tarla jira hanna ta itela bitiko le bare ibuka ke itela to kono amar ila banko fango be percentage just le bandu la ko luntango la le marta fengo fe najam Mansakunda nyanta solution la nyini na wala ntol be atray nga solution nyini mon solution nyini wala do banko nyini tol bebe tarla kumbola le yo ole mu Gambia la problème odi nyin driver ko ba nyin biste brasi kolia ko ba abe meyo sab luntangol lem tol la problème be mu luntangol lem marta na ko kula ja nyim banku demande less than 2 million tol korta million famulan tol be na dadu ndi politiko kono nendiro politiko nyinata business tol la na ful tiol bi janne bu ka sonna business to kala ika beke ko du janjango lay bu ka business to ke mune moti so Gambia la ko ni men na système mo santé atebe nyote hanni arketa momoti journaliste ba fenko ba ite sta journaliste se wuli no la eta la doko la nabe sela anin mol be nyom pousse la transporter passenger to o man nyana kela abe nyanta la bunya sutra be doko la Mansakunda ko nyanta la bunya sutra bari Gambia la problème mo nyanta ñong understand la ni mo oke don to be batala Mansakunda e mol ma koy ola ye luntangol la sembo tala ni mo luntangol la sembo tala jang ate benna so ndewlem del makko
abaraka baga
man Joshua
dama bëggoon na laajte mbiri pass bi noo ko gisee nu ko yokkee
mbir pass bi moom gasoil bu seer la rek waaw ñu yokkuñ ko nguur gi moo ko yokk waaw gasoil moo seer te gasoil dafa seer trop moom
waaye yow léegi koo foog ne leen yola blame government bi la wala drivers yi
man government bi la blame parce que noo war a wàññi taxe bi ñu mun a wàññi gasoil
waaw loo foog ne loolu mooy lii bi solution bi
mooy wàññi taxe bi ma la wax noonu rek waaw suñu wàññee taxe bi nu mun a wàññi fuel bi
waaw si ñu dee traité passengers yi noo ko gisee
non loolu korekut waaw eb munoo eb dog di dog loolu korekut loolu du yoon
léegi loo am pour waxa government
mooy nu dimbale ñu rek du driver yëpp client yi rek a sonal driver yi sonal leen client yi sonal leen so nañ dimbale naka la ñu wàññee taxe bi nu mun nu wàññi fuel bi mu wàññi paas yi.
léegi ban message nga amal Gambian si. ban message nga amal Gambian si.
bon maa ngi leen a gërëm di leen sant waaw dëgg affaire bi métti na du boori yëpp ñun sax fii yokkaguñ paas yokkuñ dañ fa tëndal fii lañ fa bàyyi.
tuur bi
Kumba
foo dëkk.
London laa dëkkal.
London naka nga gisee affaire yokk paas bi.
paas bi moom yokka bi dafa voilà métti sax surtout ñun student si daf ñu voilà affect sax te da ngaa gis ku dëkk fu sori war a fay paas fii ba jaabang da ngaa gis ko war a fay foofu 50 damaa ñëw bi rek dafa mën a nekk $100 te loolu dafa voilà seer si ñun.
léegi yow kan nga bilim si affaire yokk paas bi driver la ndaa government.
loolu kay moom si government yi la si government bi la because ñoom su ñokkee affaire yi gasoil bi yooyu noonu mu affect driver si xam nga tam ñoom tamit foog gaa yokk paas bi.
What do you think should be the solution to this?
pour government ni gars yi satu rek ñu wàññi gasoil bi njëg bi yooyu noonu affaire yi xam nga.
loo wax pour wax government bi ak drivers yi.
driver yi ñoom tam ñu understanding xam ñun tam student leen yenn saa ñu ñuy xaw a jégal si affaire yi paas bi yoon nañu si dimbale government bi tam nañu dimbale gay wàññi gasoil bi nga gis driver yi ñoom tam nañ mën a wàññi seen paas.
tour bi.
Modou Lamine Cissé.
Modou Lamine Cissé foo dëgg.
naam.
foo dëgg.
Talinding Colobane.
Talinding naka nga gisee affaire yokk paas bi.
yokk paas bi waaw adduna bi de moo doxee noonu fi mu nekk nii parce que essence bi yokk nañ ko yokkaat ko naam man client la waaye nag ci yokk paas bi man fii may jëlee moto li gën a bari muy Colobane fii ñoom seen paas bi yokkaguñ ko foog du fii $10 la benn tey ñoom yokkaguñ seen paas bi ñoom still ñu ngi $10 naam dugg naa taxi tey ci suba taxi Colobane yu ndaw yi ñoom ñu ngi $13 dégg naa tam ñu ne costa route $15 la problème bi kay mooy doget paas bi suñu yokkoon paas bi sax te bàyyi moto yi ñuy dem direct fu client di dem wàcc ñu yóbbu la baax na waaye da ngaa bu yokkee $15 bi tamit oto yi dem costa route mostly li gën a bari Talinding Latrikunda Tabokoto duñ dem direct boobu mooy problème bi te li ñu agrif dégg naa ak nguur gi mooy doget bi dañ koo bàyyi suñu yokkee paas bi waaye still ñu ngi doget foofu la problème bi nekk man client la maa ngi amee moto tamit waaw maa ngi amee moto taxi yu ma naam waaye maa ngi amee moto essence bi seer na trop yokk bi moom jaadu na waaye doget paas bi pour man moo correct.
tour bi.
maa ngi tudd Abdul Aziz.
Abdul Aziz foo dëkk.
maa ngi dëkk Jaabang.
yaa ngi dëkk Jaabang naka nga gisee affaire yokk paas bi loolu naka lay affecté accès student.
daf ñu affect ñun ñu bari daal parce que mostly ñu dee jógee fu sori nii di dem nii xam nga paas bi noonu nu ngi ko yokkee feeboo ñu bari daal parce que mostly nag ñu dee fay fii paas daf ñu over toroxal mostly nag ñeneen ñi ñuy jógee as poor families without hard work duñ ko mën a make xam nga loolu tam daf ñu mën a affect lu bari.
léegi yow kan nga blame si affaire yokk paas bi government na au drivers.
lii kay si government bi la ñoom ñoo war a wax yi fi yokk paas bi daal ñoo ko war a si ñoom la.
léegi yow what do you think is the solution to this.
solution bi daal de war a toog waxtaanee ko ni ñuy wàññee paas bi xam nga ñu mun a feeboo tam student yi ñu dee travel xam nga long distance yi di ñëw school pour jànga educate xam nga educate xam nga pour students yi.
loo am pour wax si government bi ak drivers yi.
kay lu ma am pour wax gars mooy na gars discuss rek about paas yi nañ ko mun a wàññi xam nga pour feeboo ñun students yi ak waa Gambien yi xam nga du mun a feeboo waa Gambia laa mun a waaw du mun a ñu feeboo ñun ñëpp.
assalamualeykum baɗe Gambien nol ko ka faale ñaamen doron bin fintitale nen banko dingole kaca soto nanata paasi la faala karola ning student ole kaca soto nim fondinkel diamuta iko fondinkel ye masakundale bilem nim paasi la faala karola iko iba diamula masakunda anin Gambia transport union pour ye fuelo datala fu kuwol se sone ya demo student ko ayotol affect la access student ni kata school because e ka lunch bondi la ko do ko nole e passo fana bondi je kata kana do bije abuke si fo ka tamale wala ne katu live down la siloka sama sakunda mba fala le ko aliye fuelo datala anen Gambia transport union fu kuwol se sone ya demo ndi annal badi mal Aissatou Ndiaye na cameraman wala James Menditi ani nenek Touré na ko host Hafsatou Ba ani
xibaar bu neex yow mi dëkk tey liggéey fii si biir Washington State mun ngaa dem bindu ji si Working Families Tax Credit léegi nii lii nag boo ci bindoo bañ jël la dina la jox xaalis bu toll ci $200 waaw lii nag moo ngi commencé benn fan ci weeru février atum 2023 dawal gaaw léegi nii dem jëriñu ci nguur gu ndaw gi nekk fii ci biir Washington State ñoo ko joxe dafa utee ak nguur gu mag gi bi ñuy joxe lii nag du bor te it bés boo jógee bugg a dem uti kayit du nekk gàllankoor programme bi nag li ko sabab mooy pour jàppale néew gi doole yi nekk fii ci biir Washington State waaye it pour dooleel suñuy koom-koomi réew mi bul jaaxle ci benn yoon ndaxte sa information yi ñuy jox mu ci loxo yu wóor te nag li ci gën a neex mooy Working Families Tax Credit bii dañ ko jagleel képp ku nekk fii ci biir Washington State moo xam ngay liggéey wala liggéeyuloo soo ci bëggee am lu leer wala nga soxla ku la jàppale pour nga bindu ci Working Families Tax Credit bi mun ngaa jokkoo ak woowaak léegi nii